Justin STEELE to the IL 15. I repeat, Justin STEELE to the IL 15. It has happened. It has happened again for the Chicago Cubs and Justin STEELE. We lose out on Justin STEELE again for another consecutive season for a short while, which could end up being a long while. It's just really aggravating and really disappointing to see Justin STEELE always go down with some sort of injury every single season. And that's affecting Justin STEELE big time too, because the Cubs are trying to, offer him that contract extension and get him paid out for what he's worth. But at some point, you got to start looking at it like, wow, this guy cannot stay healthy. This guy cannot stay healthy for a long period of time. He cannot pitch as many innings as we would like him to because of his durability. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I'll tell you where we go from here. You continue to wait until Justin STEELE can be healthy, and then you go ahead and offer him that contract. Justin STEELE is set to be a free agent after the 2027 season, so the Cubs do have a few years of control left on him to see where his body takes him. But I think he's too much of a red flag at the moment to offer him some big money. I think no way, shape, or form the Cubs should try and lock him up at this moment, especially having back-to-back elbow issue seasons. We all know what elbow issues can lead to. It's just not good. Tommy John, he did have Tommy John earlier in his career down in the Cubs minor league system, but who knows? Maybe he needs another one. But elbow tendinitis is not a good thing. Basically, the Cubs are going to allow Justin STEELE to rest as long as possible and ensure that he's healthy to come back so this doesn't happen again, I would imagine. Even though Justin STEELE may feel good, you could see the Cubs keep him on the IL for a longer period of time. And quite frankly, I do agree with that. Fortunately, it's really early on in the season, so if Justin STEELE does miss some time, he could make it back come playoff time, and I still think the way this roster is constructed, the Cubs should definitely be in the playoff spot and still be favorite for that NL Central. But yeah, it's not looking good for Justin STEELE. He's on the IL 15, like I said, so he's gonna just have to, rehab and rest a whole lot. So stay tuned for what happens with Justin STEELE and what the Cubs ultimately decide. But outside of Justin STEELE, the Cubs do have a game today at 1:20 Central. I believe it was moved back because yesterday I thought I saw it said 12:10, but the way the weather is outside, it makes sense why they moved it back. So I think the game now is at 1:20. I could be mistaken, but that's what I think happened, right? But the Cubs do have Shota Imanaga on the mound. Shota Imanaga absolutely has been lights out to start the season. He has a .98 ERA on the season of like a .70 whip, 2 quality starts, 2-0. Simple as that. Shota Imanaga, every single day he goes out, every fifth day, he gives the Cubs the best opportunity to win that ball game. And that's why he's so valuable to the Chicago Cubs. Without Shota Imanaga, I really, really believe the Cubs would be significantly worse because Shota, like I said, he goes out there and he gives us the best opportunity to win. Since Shota Imanaga has debuted with the Chicago Cubs, I believe he's made like 30-something starts now. He's like 25-7, which is crazy. So the Cubs are really winning majority of his ball games, and that's what an ace pitcher does. He goes out there, gives us the best chances. Shota Imanaga does a phenomenal job of keeping players off balance, off timing, and he induces a lot of weak contact, a lot of weak ground ball to an infield that's full of Gold Glovers. So it is a recipe for success, and it will continue to be a recipe for success moving forward. Shota Imanaga is that good. The Cubs are that good when he plays. So I fully expect the Cubs to sweep the Texas Rangers in the series today. The Cubs should improve their record to 10-5 on the season. And if you guys watched my last video, I apologize. I got the Cubs record wrong. I said 9-6 when they're really 9-5 at the moment. So if Shota goes out there and dazzles today like how he does in our bullpen, I don't even know what to say about our bullpen really. If they could hold the lead, right? If our bullpen could hold the lead and not give up 2-3 runs a game, the Cubs should be 10-5 today. So yeah, that's a whole nother segment that I really should talk about. The bullpen being as bad as it is right now, you saw Porter Hodge get roughed around yesterday. Brian Presley, even though he didn't give up a run, he still got roughed yesterday in the bottom of the ninth. If the bullpen goes out there and continues to give up base knocks, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on both the pitching staff as well as the offense. Number one, the offense is going to feel as if they need to do more. They need to do more. They got to go out there and score 7, 8 runs a game like how the Cubs have been doing. And the pitching staff is going to go out there and say, hey, we got to give up as less runs as possible to give our offense a chance to score enough because of our bullpen absolutely sucks. That's what it is. Our bullpen absolutely sucks. It's not good at the moment. And Jed Hoyer, Jason McLeod, Carter Hawkins, Craig Counsell, Tommy Hotovy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to throw Tom Ricketts in there because, open up your damn pocketbooks, Tom Ricketts. And maybe you should have signed Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott should have been in Chicago, and we shouldn't have had this damn issue. I was just goofing around with my roommate yesterday. Ryan Presley's ranked 67 overall in MLB The Show. 67 in MLB The Show. That's the person that you're going to entrust with the ninth inning. Hey, newsflash. This isn't 2017 anymore. This isn't 2016, right? Ryan Presley is an old aging man. I believe he's in his latter half of his 30s. He has a full-blown gray beard. He doesn't throw for velocity anymore. He can't really locate his pitches. So that's who we go with. And not a guy like Tanner Scott who was open about wanting to play in Chicago. All right, even if you don't sign a guy like Tanner Scott, and outside of yesterday's game with Porter Hodge, you have Porter Hodge who pitched an absolute brilliant year last season. Continue that into the early part of this season. Why would you not maybe give Porter Hodge? He's a flamethrower. He throws the ball hard. He can locate his pitches. He has some great stuff. A lot of movement on his pitches. I would trust him over Ryan Presley, no doubt. Ryan Presley has shown without a shadow of doubt that his age is becoming a factor, and he can no longer be that closer that he once was. This isn't Ryan Presley from Houston anymore, right? Even after that trade went down between the Cubs and the Houston Astros, you had Astro fans praising management to get rid of Ryan Presley because Ryan Presley he relies on swing and miss, which he's not getting as much anymore, right? And that's an issue. Moving forward, I want to see the Chicago Cubs have a very short leash with Ryan Presley. If he continues to pitch the way he's pitching, you gotta at some point bite the bullet and just say, hey, you're no longer a closer, even though that's going to piss you off and you use your no trade clause to come close over here. Guess what? If you can't close, you're not going to close for a major league team that's trying to contend. Maybe you can go down to the south side or down to Miami and you can go out there and blow as many games as possible because it doesn't matter. But we're the north side. We're trying to win a World Series this year. We're going to win the NL Central, and we cannot have you later in the year be blowing crucial games. Like right now, would anyone trust Ryan Presley if the playoffs started today to go out and close a game against the Phillies or the Mets or the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks or even the Brewers? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I want to see the Cubs do something different with Ryan Presley. I think you have to give him a very short leash. I think you give Ryan Presley a few more opportunities. If he does not impress you in those 2 opportunities, I think it's time to look or move on from him, in my opinion. Welcome back to another episode of the Cubby Perspective. My name is Andrew. I'm a podcast for the fans, by the fans. All right. So I actually did the for the fans, by the fans thing a lot later in the video because I totally forgot because I was so amped up about Justin STEELE and the bullpen and all that kind of stuff and the injuries. So, yeah, if you wonder where it is in the start of the video, you're going to see it later in the video. But that's the last time I'll make that mistake, all right? Typically, I kind of want to go for like a nice header and then drop the for the fans, by the fans part, but whatever, who cares? But anyways, we have Shota Imanaga against Tyler Mahle today. Tyler Mahle has pitched a few games this year. Hasn't been bad, hasn't been that good, so the Cubs should have no issue with getting to him. Tyler Mahle also did not pitch in 2024 outside of a few games due to injury. So I believe you see the Cubs be super aggressive in this game. If If Tyler Mahle cannot find the strike zone, expect the Cubs to be super patient. The Cubs are a very, very patient team, and they have no issues with taking their walk. So it could go one of two ways. It could go either super aggressive or super patient. I think I'm leaning more towards aggressive today. I think they're going to knock Tyler Mahle out of the ballpark as soon as possible, in my opinion. On the other side, we have Shota Imanaga. Shota Imanaga has absolutely been crucial to this team. He's absolutely wonderful. So look for Shota Imanaga to pitch a wonderful game today. He always goes out there and gives the Cubs the best opportunity to win the ball games. Outside of that, there's not much else to really talk about. Carson Kelly is grabbing some bench today. Carson Kelly has not been hitting the last 2 games. He's now recorded a hit, so that's not why Miguel Amaya is starting in today's game, but that is something to look out for. Is Carson Kelly's hot stretch? Is he done with that? Will Carson Kelly continue to maybe return to how he usually hits? Hopefully that's not the case because the Cubs are killing it in the 9th slot of the batting order. The Cubs have the highest OPS in all of baseball with, I believe, an OPS a little over 1.0 in the 9th hole from our catchers, which last year and the previous year, the Cubs were dead last in the league with OPS from that slot in the lineup and from our catchers. So it's actually a breath of fresh air, the fact that the Cubs are, doing well in that spot and not, keeping up with trends and being terrible, right? So look out for Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly to continue their hot stretch. Amaya has also been hitting the ball well, so it's really nice. And anytime the bottom of your lineup is hidden, that alleviates so much pain and takes so much off of the top half of that lineup, because like the top half goes into this game thinking, oh hey, maybe we don't have to get that big hit today because the bottom half of our lineup, like PCA, Matt Shaw, our catchers, are actually doing something and producing. So look out for them. Picks to click today are going to be simple as this: Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki. Both hitters are doing phenomenal. I'm making the prediction that Kyle Tucker goes yard today. Kyle Tucker is due for a homer. He has not hit a homer in a few games. So I think this is the perfect, right on left matchup. So I think you're going to see Kyle Tucker go yard today at Wrigley Field. I think you're going to see Seiya Suzuki have a monster game as well. If that translates into, a homer, then great. But I don't think Seiya will knock one out. I think you will see at least one out of Kyle Tucker. My parlay for today that I'm whipping up, I already pre-thought it and everything. I got the dollar amounts down. I got Kyle Tucker going yard. I got Seiya Suzuki 2+ total bases. Yes, I am. I'm going PCA 2+ total bases. I think PCA has been turning the corner. He had 3 hits in last night's game. I also think PCA is fast enough to where he could leg out a single into a double, which could easily win us that money. So, I think you are starting to see PCA turn the corner. I think PCA is regaining his confidence. He's regaining that timing at the plate. He's not swinging and missing as much as he has, even though he had a couple of strikeouts in last night's game. But, yes, I look out for PCA to do really well. And Shota Imanaga. Typically, I would want to go higher on the strikeout, but that's not the trend that Shota has been showing today. Or at least this year. He only has 10 strikeouts in 3 games so far. So his strikeout numbers are down. But I do think Texas is struggling big time offensively, even though putting up six runs last game. So I will probably stick with that same kind of bet where Shota is over 4.5. You probably could, if you want to, go higher, 5.5 or whatnot. But with all that being said, Shota 4.5 over strikeouts, Kyle Tucker homer, Seiya 2+ total bases, PCA 2+ total bases, and the Cubs money line. That's that's what I like to call a low risk, high reward type of bet. $1 down will get you $41. $2 down will get you $82. $3 down will get you $123, and vice versa. So you could easily drop $5 and expect to get $200 because I think that's a very plausible bet. Really. So if you guys do decide to bet and that does hit, please let me know what you guys bet in the comments. Please like and subscribe for me giving you guys that insider scoop, really. But that concludes the podcast. Let's go Cubs. We have Texas and the Rangers at 120 today. I believe it was at 12:10. I could be mistaken, but I did think I saw it at 12:10 yesterday. But due to the impending weather outside, I think they did end up pushing it back. But I could be wrong there, but I think I'm not wrong. I think I'm right. But yeah, let's go Cubs. Let's get another win. Cubs go for that series sweep. Cubs look to improve their record to 10-5 on the year. In yesterday's video, I said the Cubs record was 9-6, which I was dead wrong about. I was dead wrong about that, and that won't happen again. So we are not 9-6 at the moment. We are 9-5, still at first place, but we look to improve our record to 10-5. With that being said, keep the faith, go Cubs, and I am the Cubby Perspective.